We should have tested this out before.
Okay, so copy that link and send that to them.
Should be able to just reply all and resend it.
Mm-hmm.
You send it to me too.
Type in your email.
Okay. And you guys are good to go. Sorry, guys. A few technical difficulties. You're going to get some good game, though.
Ready?
Oh, wait, it left. They left us. After we lost our viewers.
No, it stopped.
Why?
You probably were on too long, maybe. Hit share and get on again.
Well, I don't want to share that because that was that didn't even.
We'll go live. It'll never stop. Even if no viewers are on, it'll stay live.
Okay.
All right.
Lord,
any questions?
Tanisha, we still have to get our shit together. Wait, hold on. Just make sure before I.
Already on. Like you guys, you're live right now.
So hilarious, you know. Oh, Jesus, Jehovah. Difficulties. Oh, a lot of people came in now. Hi, everybody. So there's a lot of you guys watching us right now. So this is, as you guys know, we're doing the How to Start a Content Marketing Agency webinar right now. So hi to everybody on Instagram. If you can type and let us know what type of business you have and why you're interested in, no. Oh, 2 people are waiting. Eugene Bush. Tell Eugene to come. We're not live anymore. Or are we live?
I got people like Luke that I'm sending the link to. Okay.
All right. So, and then I'll tell the people here. Can you talk to them while I tell the people?
Property management. You currently have a property management business or you're looking to start one? Not sure.
Okay. All right.
I just started there. Perfect.
Okay, you already have your LLC. Okay, so that's great. So one of the things that you need when you're starting your business, your content creation business. So we're gonna start off by, well, with any business, the first thing you want to consider is what type of entity you should form and the type of entity you pick for your specific business. And then can you guys just let us know if the sound is okay so we can make sure that you're able to hear us? Like, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
Do we have to show it over there so we can see?
I'm just trying to get one person left. I was just trying to get the other people over here. Oh, hi. Okay, so we have 2 people over here. So you guys were able to join us. Hi, Brittany. Can you let us know who else we have in YouTube? So we are now technology issue free. Thank you, Jesus.
You can hear very clear.
Okay. All right, so we're officially going to get started. So let's just reset now that we don't have technology issues anymore. So I am Johnetta Paye, and I am a business attorney. I've been a business attorney for 10 years, and I have worked with a lot of influencers, high net worth individuals, and multi-million dollar companies, advising them on their legal strategy, and then also handling legal affairs for them. And then this is Denisha, and I'm going to let her introduce herself to you.
So again, I am Denisha. I am an accountant, technically seeking my, well, not technically, but currently seeking my CPA. Again, like Johnetta, I have been in the business for 16 years, advising different businesses and brands, $1 million brands, but more so from the accounting side of things, whether that be strategy, tax strategy, or just how to get everything started with your books and whatnot.
And so we get like a lot of questions from entrepreneurs that we encounter like every day on business formation, business scaling questions. And so we were like, you know what, I'm an attorney, you're an accountant. And when do people actually get to talk to us for free and ask like their business questions? So because it's National Small Business Week, we thought we could get on and do like a weekly series where we focus on different businesses and just let people know like the basics of starting those businesses. So tonight we're focusing on how to start a content marketing business. And so as we were saying, one of the first things you want to consider when you're starting any kind of business is what business entity works for you. And a content creation agency is a service-based business. You might have some products that you give like merchandise and stuff, but for the most part, it's a service-based business. So the way that you go about forming yourself and setting up for a service-based business is going to be different from like a product or goods-based business. So one of the things that I, as an attorney, recommend clients do, especially when you're starting a business that involves a lot of liability and a lot of risk, I encourage you to set yourself up as an LLC to help to like minimize the risk that you're going to have as a business owner in that particular space. Because when you form yourself as an LLC, if you were to get sued, the person suing you would be limited to recovering from the assets of the business. Now, Denisha might have a different take on that from a tax perspective, so I'll let her weigh in on that.
I actually agree. I always recommend clients to set up as an LLC, and then from there, you can choose how you want to be taxed. So example being, whether you start off as a single member LLC, you're still not personally liable if someone comes to sue you, but you will basically file your taxes on your 1040 just as a separate business or separate schedule on your 1040. Another way,
and for somebody who's not like tax savvy like myself, what is a 1040?
1040 is your personal individual income tax return. So everybody, if you're making money over $600, you're supposed to be filing a personal tax return. So the Schedule C is basically where you would file that business or show that business income. Again, after you set it up as an LLC.
Okay. Should they consider like any other type of business? So like, let's just say, because it does cost money to form an LLC, and depending on where you live, each state has like different fees to like filing fees that you have to pay to become an LLC. So like, let's just say it might be cheaper for me to form a corporation versus being an LLC. Should I go with like the cheaper option?
No. So I think that the biggest thing is all about your size and your scale and what you plan on doing with your business. So example being, if you know that you plan on eventually having some employees up under you, or eventually you might even want to pay yourself a salary, then I would advise you to set yourself up as an S corporation. S corporation will allow you as an owner to eventually take a paycheck as well. So how a lot of us have had a job before in the past, they pay you a paycheck. So if you set yourself up as an S corporation, you can pay yourself, your business can pay you as an individual a paycheck. If you're just a regular LLC, sole proprietor, you cannot pay yourself a paycheck. So basically when you take out your draws, it's just that, it's a draw. You cannot you cannot deduct that as an expense.
And that's something important too that Denisha said, is like a lot of times when we're first starting a business or looking to grow a business as entrepreneurs, money is tight. And so we're
Mhm.
trying to like save everywhere that we can. But it's really important to set yourself up for where you see yourself going. And you can always save up to like meet the next milestone. So if it's going to cost you money to like set yourself up right and be an LLC right away, then save up. Like, plan like, I need to save up for 3 months in order to file and become an LLC, and I'm gonna, whatever. But don't like skim costs like now because you don't have it right now, because it's gonna cost you more like later on down the road to actually change and, set yourself up the right way.
Correct. Another big thing to point out is if you do want to eventually file as an S election down the line, which is basically to be taxed as an S corporation, it's a form that you would have to file with the IRS. And so either an attorney like Johnetta or an accountant like myself can get that set up for you guys down the line if you absolutely need to start out as a sole proprietor, as a LLC.
And it's okay to start off, I would say, as a sole proprietor.
Absolutely.
I know when I first started my business, I started off as a sole proprietor, but you just want to make sure from a tax perspective, you're accounting for the money the correct way when you file your taxes at the end of the day. And so if I do start up as a sole proprietor, just remind them again how I would account for the money that my business makes.
So regardless of how you're starting out as a sole proprietor, as an S corp, whatever, you all need, once you actually, so let's back up. Let's take a step back. So you would basically first, you come up with your business name. So you had this aha moment. You want to form a business and you come up with your name, right? So the first thing you do, you go to the internet, or what's the technical legal way?
And this is like something too you should consider no matter what type of business you're in. So we put a lot of thought and effort. It's kind of like getting a tattoo on your body, right? You put a lot of thought and effort into what is going to be permanently on you. And that's the same thing with your business. You put a lot of thought and effort into what your business name is going to be. And so you want to make sure that you are branding and protecting something that you can really and truly own. And so don't just randomly pick a name and think that later on down the road you can trademark it or you can operate under that name. Like, you need to do a search, and an attorney can help you do that to make sure that you can actually use that name. So one of the things you can do on your own is go to the Secretary of State website for the state that you reside in or wherever you're thinking about forming your business, and just see if somebody else is like using that name, and that'll give you an idea of if it's available. Then the other thing I encourage people to do is just a general Google search, because you might find on Google that somebody else is using that business name that you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third place you can go and search is the USPTO website, and just type in the name of like the business that you want to use and see if there is currently a trademark registration for that specific business name. And then you can go ahead and, start getting your logo developed and all of the other marketing collaterals that you need for your business, because you kind of have a pretty good sense that name is available. But you don't want to just go ahead and be like, oh, I'm good, I'm just going to go ahead and use this name, and then find out, oh my God, somebody else has it and I'm infringing on their business if I use it. And then you have a lawsuit and you have to rebrand anyways, which goes back to what I said in the beginning. You want to make sure that you invest the money to set yourself up right, because it's going to be costly to have to rebrand or go back and do it correctly later.
Absolutely. And I myself, the name of my company is Gray Financial. I had a different name in mind initially. And so from doing my Google searches and all of that and going to the Secretary of State, someone had the name that I initially wanted. So I had to go with a different name. So great information. So once you actually get your business name set up and you register with the state, then the next thing that you would do is basically take all of that information. So you register your business with the state. You get your EIN number from the federal government, which is the IRS's website. So you get your EIN, IRS.gov. So you get your EIN number from the IRS. You register your business with the state at the Secretary of State. The next thing you would do is take that information to the bank of your choice or credit union of your choice, and you will basically open up a business checking and savings account. You don't necessarily have to start with savings, but you definitely want to do a business checking account. And it's just like your personal account, but you want to keep everything separate. And you want to keep everything separate so that you're not piercing the corporate veil. Basically meaning, if I have a business and I'm taking a trip, I'm going to
Hawaii.
I'm going to Hawaii. But I'm paying for that personal trip to Hawaii with my business credit card or my business debit card. And then I go shopping. And I go shopping with my business debit card. To someone else that from the outside, if you get sued, you're basically now piercing the corporate veil because you're commingling the funds. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your funds separate. So you go and you open up that business checking account and you get a debit card. Now, anything that's related to the business, you purchase from that business debit card. If for some reason, let's say, I mean, we've all, you're starting a business, you're starting out, let's say you don't have clients yet. So you may have to personally put money into the business to get it started. So you can do that simple. Just basically write a check from your personal or take cash out, however you want to do it. I always say check because it's just cleaner, paper trail. So you write a check from your personal account to your business account, and now that's basically capital contributed to get you started. And now you have money to work off of to get you going until your business actually generates its own revenue and can sustain itself, basically.
And that's really important to keep your finances separate, especially from like a legal standpoint, because if somebody who's looking to sue you can show that your business and you are one and the same entity, now then they can come after your personal assets like your house and your car. So it's just really important just to, you know, as soon as you can, establish that business account and keep it separate from your personal account and pay yourself or whatever you're doing personally from your personal bank account versus your business bank account, just to minimize the risk to you from that standpoint. And then do you guys have like any questions as we're talking? Definitely like type them in the comment section, and then we can make sure that we answer them as we go along. So if you have any questions about like business formation, any questions about like electing your tax status, things that we've just covered, definitely, you know, don't hesitate to type them in for us, because this is like an interactive webinar. We definitely want to make sure that we're answering your questions and that you're getting the most value out of your time tonight, because time is valuable. And so we just want to make sure that we're respecting your time and giving you the information that you came here for. So definitely ask us questions. So you want to go on to the next topic?
All right. So once you've formed your business, you registered with the state, you set up your business bank account, now you're ready to start going out and setting up some contracts with your clients and also with your outsourced contractors. Do we take that now?
Yeah, we can. So, and we're going to repeat the question for the folks on YouTube so that they also get the benefit of the question as well. So the question we got from Instagram was,
can you take a DBA, which is a doing business as, to an LLC without changing the name? I feel like that's a legal question.
Yeah, so you can form an LLC as one thing, but if you decide that you're going to operate your business as another thing, then yes, you can file a DBA for that specific business, and it shouldn't impact your taxes at all, because with a DBA, all you're saying is, you know, yes, I form my business as this thing, but in the marketplace, I'm operating as a different thing. And that's common for people who operate as like sole proprietors as well. So as a sole proprietor, your technical business name is your actual name, but you might be doing business as John Doe LLC. And so you would file like a DBA just to, you know, let everybody know that although you're registered as a sole proprietor, you're doing business as John Doe LLC.
And with that being said, let's say they want to take that DBA and they're going to form an LLC or set it up as a single member LLC for tax purposes to not be liable. Can they do that or do with the same name, as long as they can still do that as long as the name is available, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Does that answer your question for foreclosure defenders? The next question is, can you please say one more time some of the benefits of starting an S corporation instead of an LLC?
And I'll let Denisha take that.
So the biggest thing is, once you come to a point where your business is pretty successful and you're making money, and you want to now you want to start showing that you're taking a salary. So with an S corp, you can pay yourself an actual salary. So that's one way that you can get your tax payments paid in. So let's say your business has made $100,000. You want to show a W-2 salary for yourself of $50,000. You would basically file quarterly payroll tax returns from your business, but you're the only employee, or you can be the only employee. You don't have to be. So if you're the only employee, you would basically pay yourself a W-2 for $50,000, which means that that's also a deduction on the business. Whereas if you're an LLC, if you're a single member LLC, any money that you take out, that's considered a draw. So if we get a little technical, that's a draw would be considered a balance sheet item. So a balance sheet item is basically going against the equity that you put in, meaning that that's not a deduction in terms of like, it's not a tax deduction in terms of like getting your net income a little bit lower. Whereas if you're taking that salary, that's a tax deduction. So you're getting income still, but you're able to recognize that income on your personal return, which looks good, but then you're also being able to deduct it on your business side. Does that answer your question?
Okay, I think there was one more on Instagram that we can take, but I think you're gonna have to scroll down to like see it. Or the other way, yeah. Or do we?
Nope, we got it.
Okay, so we got everybody's question. So then the next thing is, now that you're set up your business, you picked the
yes,
right.
I will. I will give you my information.
And we'll do that at the end so you guys can get in touch with us. So the next thing is, once you form your business and you picked your right tax status, then you're actually going to want to like actually start doing business, right? And so you're going to need like contracts to operate the business. So for a content marketing agency, you're going to need contracts that your clients are going to sign in regards to like the work that you provide them. So if the content you're creating for them is a video, then you're going to want a contract that specifies like, you know, I'm going to give you one video. It's going to be due in 14 days. You get like 2 edits, and this is how you need to pay me. And if you don't pay me, then I have the right to sue you, or whatever the case may be. So those are definitely things that you're wanting get, you know, before you actually go into the business. And then if you have like freelancers that are working for you, you're definitely going to want to have them sign what's called a work for hire agreement, and formalize that freelancer relationship, because it's not like they're not a part of your business. And you don't want to just operate off of word as bond, because a lot of times when you do that, if something like goes wrong and you don't have it in writing, then it kind of limits the recourse that you have from like a legal perspective to try to rectify the situation. So just from a content marketing standpoint of a business, those are like the 2 like biggest contracts you're going to need: one for your clients and one for any freelancer that does work on behalf of your company.
And then to get into that, once you get to the point where, obviously, once you get to the point where you're paying your contractors, or if you're at a point where you're hiring employees, then you also want to make sure that you're filing the proper documents at the end of the year for those people. So for an employee, you would basically have to file payroll tax returns. And that could either be quarterly or that can be annually. It's just based on your volume. And those guidelines are determined by your particular state and also by the IRS. And at the end of the year, you will also have to file some annual returns, which part of that annual return is a W-2. If you have contractors, then at the end of the year, you have to give that person a 1099. And also, whenever you start a business relationship with a contractor, you always want to make sure that they fill out a form W-9. The form W-9 basically gives you all of their information in the beginning, because at the end of the year, it's kind of hard to track down a person. Let's say you get a contractor in February to do some work for you, and now it's January of the following year, and it's time for you to issue them a 1099. Well, their information may have changed, and so anybody that you pay $600 or more, you have to issue them a Form 1099 per the IRS guidelines.
And then to answer the question on Instagram, so the question is, if you have a subcontractor or a freelancer that's working for your company, do you need them to sign a non-compete? So a non-compete doesn't have to be a separate contractual agreement. When you have your freelancer agreement that you have people working for you sign, it can have a non-compete clause in there. And then you also might want to consider also having it have a no solicitation clause. So, you know, clients that you're using your hard energy to go and bring to your business, you don't want some freelancer to come and steal and then ultimately convert that them to their business. And so you want to also consider having a non-solicitation clause in your agreement, your freelancer agreement that you give to freelancers to sign. And yes, there are templates on the internet that you can use, but I always recommend talking to an attorney, because in talking to an attorney, you'll see like different sections that need to be in the contract to help like protect your overall business as you go in and do the work. But that's the answer to that question.
Do we have any questions on those particular topics that we've covered so far before we move on to the next thing?
Because like I said, we definitely want to make sure that we gotta go. Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that we're giving you guys value. So definitely ask your questions, because like I said, when are you going to get to talk to an attorney and an accountant like for free and get like free game? So definitely take advantage of this opportunity and make sure that you get your questions answered tonight. So the next thing.
So once you've branded your business and everything, let's say you're really popular. Now it's time to trademark, and this is all Jonetta's area because I'm not an attorney, so I don't know much about trademarking.
So like we said, before you start your business, you just want to do a general search to make sure that you can actually register your business under the name that you're thinking, and you're not going to be infringing on somebody else's business when you do. And so once you do that, then you start actually using the mark in the marketplace, because that's one of the things the trademark office is going to want to see before they approve your trademark registration, is they want to see that you're actually using the mark in commerce. So do you have a website with the logo on it? Do you have marketing collateral with the logo on it? Do you have merchandise or whatever you're doing? Are you actually like using it? And do people identify your goods and services with that particular logo or word mark? And so once you start using the mark in commerce, then you can go to the USPTO's trademark, like that's the trademark website. It's kind of a little complicated to follow a trademark yourself. It's doable, but it's a little complicated. But that's the website you would go to if you're trying to do it yourself. And then they ask you some questions, and you have to upload like a sample of your logo and a sample showing how you're actually using it in commerce, and answer some questions. And that's like how you register like a trademark. The other thing to consider is it's $225 to register a trademark in multiple categories. So for each category you do it in, that's a $225. So for example, let's say we're using it as a service mark for your content marketing agency, and then you also sold like t-shirts or mugs or whatever with your logo on it as like goods. So goods is a separate category from service marks. And so, you know, if you're applying for both categories, then it would be like $500. So that's just like a basic general lowdown on trademarks.
You want to answer that? What's your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is JP Law. So we do have some people who are on YouTube right now watching this live, as well as on the Instagram live.
All right. So we've talked about checking your business name, registering your business with the state. Well, before we go to the next topic, we have a question. Do your services include trademarking for people?
Yes. And actually, I just got a client approved for a trademark this morning. So that was really exciting to see that her trademark got approved by the trademark office. But yes, I do trademark logos and service marks for people.
All right. Any more questions before we go to the next thing?
And YouTube, I see you watching. We definitely want to make sure we're answering your questions. So if you have any questions, YouTube, type them in so we can address them as well. I know Instagram is taking advantage, but YouTube, you also have that opportunity too.
All right. So we've discussed registering your business with the state, getting your EIN number with the IRS, setting up your business correctly, whether that's an LLC or S Corp. There's also some, you can do C Corp as well, just not well advised. And then we've talked about trademarks. We talked about contracts with your clients, as well as contracts with your contractors or outsourced contractors. And then the next thing we'll discuss is how to create payments, or how to basically pay the IRS in the state, whatever state you're located in, based on
how much you're making.
Exactly.
Because once you start making money, the IRS wants their cut. So I'll let Tanisha talk about that.
Got a question really quick. Does my services include setting up the structure LLC or S Corp? And yes, they do. So yes, I will give you my information at the end of this video.
And we do have a way that you can work with both of us.
Absolutely.
To set up your business, but we'll talk about that at the end.
All right. So again, let's go back to single member LLC. Single member LLC means that you are basically paying in your business income is recognized on your personal tax return. So since your business income is recognized on your personal tax return, you would pay in your payments via estimated payments or quarterly payments via the IRS's website or whatever state that you're in. I'm not like, so for us, we're located in Georgia. So I would go to the Georgia State's website, Georgia Department of Revenue, and I would pay in estimated quarterly payments at that time. So
do I also have to do federal estimated quarterly payments?
Yes. So what I would recommend, it's kind of easier, honestly, if you work with a tax advisor to help you. So because obviously as you scale up your business, the amount, let's start here. So let's take a step back. If you're doing this part-time, so let's say you have a W-2 and you're making $50,000 from your W-2, and then your business is doing really well. So you've made an additional $50,000 from your business. So your business is a Schedule C on your individual tax return. So technically the taxes that your job has covered is only covering, or that you paid in from your job is only covering that first $50,000. So now you have an additional $50,000 in wages that you haven't paid taxes on. So in that scenario, you can do one or two things. You can either increase the amount of withholdings that you have withheld from your paycheck at your job, or you can make in estimated payments, quarterly payments, based on your revenue that your business is generating, which would be something totally separate. You would make estimated quarterly payments to the IRS for your federal, and you would make quarterly estimated payments to whatever state that you live in. And most of the time you can do that with the Georgia Department, not Georgia Department of Revenue, but whatever Department of Revenue for the state that you live in. A good rule of thumb would probably be to pay in at least 20%. But again, everybody's tax bracket is a little bit different. So I would recommend working with a tax advisor on that, because your situation may be different from the next person's situation. And so I can't necessarily give a cookie cutter answer. It's just easier to say, basically, if you have a Schedule C, then you need to pay in estimated payments via quarterly payments directly to the IRS. Whereas if you have an S Corp, then you can you can make your payments or cover your tax liability via a salary. Does that make sense?
And what if I know you kind of went through this, but just to simplify it. So
Yep.
Let's just say I'm side hustling. Like I have my main job,
Yep.
And then I'm building like my business on the side. How should I account for that? The two separate incomes.
So one, let's start. So you set up your business bank account, so you should be able to track to see how much money you've made. One good way of doing that I highly recommend is hiring an accountant or bookkeeper to keep track of your income and your expenses. That one helps hold you accountable in terms of budgeting, and then also lets you see how much money that you're truly making. So if you have, and you can use tools also like QuickBooks if you're kind of tech savvy or you know a little bit about accounting or bookkeeping, and then you also have something out there called FreshBooks. But so the easiest way to do this is basically take your books. So you've got everything established. You've hired myself or someone like myself to keep or maintain your books. So quarterly, we'll look at your income. And when we look at your income quarterly, we'll say, hey, based off of what you've made, you need to pay in this amount of money so that you won't owe the IRS or owe your particular state in a tremendous amount of money at the end of the year. Does that answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
That answers the question. And then if you guys have any questions, I think we're on the last topic.
Yep. Which is, I think you've already kind of touched on it, is basically how they need how much money they need to sustain their lifestyle.
Okay. So the last topic is once you're in business, and we're not going to go like really detail into it. We both have like marketing degrees, but you're not really here. I mean, yes, we can give you marketing advice, but you're more here for the accounting and for the legal advice. But we're just going to throw in some like basic marketing advice just to be nice, I guess. So once you start your business and now you have to make money, and so you have to figure out like how your business is going to monetize, like how is it going to make money. And so for like a content marketing agency, you're going to want to find clients that you can create content for, whether that's you're creating social media graphics for folks, you're creating websites, you're creating videos, whatever content it is that you're creating for your clients, you're going to have to find people that need that. And so there's different ways that you can go out there and find people to buy your services. But before you even get there, I always recommend doing what's called a profit plan. So you have to start with like, how much money do you need to like sustain your lifestyle, and write that down on a piece of paper. And then figure out from there, okay, what products and what services am I offering? So am I doing like video production services for like $500 a video? Am I doing video editing services for like $250 an hour, or whatever your hourly rate is? And so once you figure out what your products and your services are, then now you need to figure out like, how many of these units or how many of these things do I need to sell to make my monthly or yearly goal, or whatever you need to like sustain your lifestyle. And then once you know that, you kind of have a sense of how many people like you need to hit up to actually hit your revenue goal. So if your goal is to make like $10,000 a month, if you're only talking to 2 people a month, you're not going to hit that goal. Yep. You're probably going to need to talk to more like 20 people a month to make like $10,000 a month. But how are you going to connect with 20 people every month? Are you going to go to like networking event and get like 5 business cards at each networking event you go to? Are you going to start a blog to like connect with 20 people a month? Like, how are you going to meet enough people that, you know, you can convert to purchase your products or services so that you can generate the income you need to sustain your lifestyle? So that's just before you even get into like marketing. You need to have like a plan and some numbers. And then once you have that, then you can figure out what marketing strategies you're going to use to hit those numbers. And so that's all we had for you guys for today. And we like apologize for the technical difficulties. Next week we will be a little bit more together. Like, this was actually like our first one, and it was an idea that Denisha and I came up with like literally like 2 days ago. And then we just started to like implement it. And I guess that's one thing about business is like kind of you gotta have an idea and then implement it like quickly, and then just go from there. Just try, and as you try, you get better and you get stronger, but you just like start somewhere. So while we have a few more minutes and before my cell phone dies on Instagram, we can take a few more questions about anything you have. And then while you guys are typing in your questions, we're going to tell you guys like how to work with us. So if you're looking to start a business and you haven't already, and you don't want to like form it yourself and you want Denisha and I to do it for you, we have a business in the box service, and that's in my Instagram. YouTube will put the link later, or you can go to jpay.com. And you can find the business in the box service there. But it's where you get to talk to us for like 30 minutes specifically about your business. And we won't give you any like general cookie cutter like tax and legal advice. We'll actually give you advice that's specific to your business so that you know when you're forming your business. Because a lot of these internet gurus and influencers, they're only giving you strategies that they got from their accountant or they got from their lawyer that work specifically for their business. But that doesn't mean that that's what you need to do, because that might not be the best move for your business, but you're not going to know that unless you talk to like qualified and experienced people that have been doing this for a really long time. So that's one of the things you get with the Business in the Box. And then we actually form your company for you, and we apply for your EIN number for you. So if you're interested in the Business in the Box, the link's in my Instagram bio, and then also you can go to jpaye.com.
That's JPAYE
to get the Business in the Box, and that's a way that you can work with both of us. And then I also have like a monthly coaching group, and everybody says I'm crazy for this, but like for $47 a month, every Saturday, you can talk to me about like whatever challenges that you're having in business or whatever like legal questions you have. And I have helped to build like some pretty successful businesses.
Yes.
And so, you know, talking to me for $47 to help you grow and scale your business is like, everybody thinks I'm crazy for doing that. But I remember when I first started my business with like $0 in the bank, and I would not be where I am today if people hadn't like extended me some grace and extended me some favor. But I do need to pay my rent, and I do need to keep the lights on. So that's why I can't do it for free, but I do offer it for $47. And then I'll let Denisha talk about how you can work with her and how you can connect with her on social.
So my Instagram name is Gray, GRAY _financial, FINANCIAL. My website is www.gray-fin.com. Will this be on replay?
Well, you can watch the live. The live will be up and available. So yeah, you can go back and watch the live.
And again, my name is Denisha Gray. And if you want to work with us directly, Business in a Box, then you can do it that way. But if you just need accounting advice as a whole, then you can just reach out to me via email, which is dgray@gray-financial.net. Or you can go to my Instagram page and DM me, or you can also go to the website and click on the about us. I think it's like a section in there where you basically can ask a question.
Yeah, and I also do like 15-minute legal chats where you can also talk to me for free for 15 minutes. So there are ways to like work with us without like a huge financial investment, because we do believe in like, you know, helping people where they are. And then for the question about adding a second member to your LLC, if you are a single member LLC, meaning that you formed an LLC already and it's only one person and you want to add a second person, all you have to do is amend your operating agreement to add that second person as a member. And so that's how you can add the second person onto your LLC. And I'll let Denisha say if there's any tax implications of switching from a single member LLC to a 2-member LLC.
Nope. The great thing about husband and wife in this particular question is that the IRS recognizes you as one entity. So it does not change anything. Now, obviously, most of the time, if you're filing an LLC, then you're usually taxed as a partnership, meaning that's a totally separate form. But the IRS will recognize you as one entity since you are husband and wife.
So any more questions before we sign off? Going once, going twice. I'll give you a little bit because I know it takes a little bit of time to type. Because I know people are hungry. I know I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day. I've been like working, so I'm ready to like go get some dinner. And what's people having for dinner? Not that you guys really care because you didn't come for that. Denisha has some sushi for dinner.
Hello.
All right, so if there's no questions, then we definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight, and we hope that you found some value in tonight's webinar. And as we do this, it's going to get better. But again, this is like Denisha and I's like first time actually hosting a webinar and putting ourselves out there in this way. So we thank you guys for being our first group. And we definitely hope that you guys got some value from tonight. And, you know, if you have any questions or you want to talk to us one-on-one, just hit us up on social media, go to our website, send us an email. And we definitely look forward. Well, we wish you success in like your business endeavors. And if we can be a resource for you, just reach out to us. Oh, and my YouTube channel is, I'll post it somewhere on IG, but it's JP Law is my YouTube channel. But I'll make sure I put the link somewhere. Actually, the link to my YouTube channel is in my Instagram profile. So you can definitely do that. And thanks everybody on YouTube for